We live in an era where silence is highly misunderstood. We tend to think that when someone stops talking to us, they have simply run out of words. We look at a chat screen, waiting for those 3 flickering dots to appear, believing that a blank screen equals a blank mind. We comfort ourselves with the sweet lie that they are just busy, or distracted, or perhaps too overwhelmed to reply. But here is the brutal truth that most people refuse to face. The absolute loudest, most violent argument a person will ever have with you is the one you will never actually get to read. It happens entirely within the span of a few agonizing minutes, confined completely inside a small text box that is repeatedly filled with raw emotion, and then mercilessly hollowed out into nothingness. When a screen switches from typing back to a cold, static blankness, you haven't just missed a message. You have just witnessed the exact moment someone decided that explaining themselves to you is a complete waste of their finite human energy. It is the definitive, quiet death of a relationship, masked perfectly as a technical glitch or a casual pause. Think about the last time you found yourself staring at your phone at 2 o'clock in the morning. Your thumbs are moving furiously across the glass screen. You are writing a literal manifesto. You are laying bare your heart, pouring out your deepest frustrations, and carefully cataloging every single time they made you feel small, ignored, or completely unvalued. Every sentence is a desperate bid for clarity, a final attempt to make them see the immense damage they have caused. You rewrite the opening paragraph 4 distinct times because you want to sound strong, not broken. You want to be precise. You want to hit them with the exact weight of your truth so they finally understand. You watch the text block grow larger and larger, expanding into a wall of words that represents months of suppressed anger and hidden tears. On the other end of that digital connection, their phone is likely flashing with that tiny, anxious indicator, typing. They might even be watching it in real time, waiting for the storm to hit. They expect the confrontation. They expect the familiar, exhausting cycle of argument, defense, and half-hearted apology. They are already preparing their shield, getting ready to deflect your words before they even read them. But then, right in the middle of a sentence, your thumb hovers over the spacebar. A sudden, chilling wave of clarity washes over you. You look at the massive paragraph you just spent 20 minutes crafting. You read it back to yourself, and for the first time, you do not see a weapon of truth. You see a tragic monument to your own desperation. You realize that to send this message is to beg for basic human decency. To send this message is to provide an instruction manual on how to care about you to someone who has already proven they have absolutely no interest in reading it. You look at the words "you hurt me when you did that," and you instantly realize their reply will just be your overreacting. You look at the sentence "I just wanted you to listen," and you already hear their inevitable, defensive sigh. The entire trajectory of the upcoming argument plays out in your head like a badly rehearsed play, and you already know the ending. They will not have a sudden breakthrough. They will not break down in tears and realize your worth. They will simply skim through your paragraphs, find a single technicality to argue about, and turn themselves into the victim once again. And that is the precise moment the shift happens. It is not an explosion of anger. It is the sudden, heavy onset of absolute exhaustion. You realize that fighting with someone is actually a profound form of investment. It requires a baseline belief that the relationship is still worth saving, that the other person is capable of growth, and that your pain actually matters to them. When you argue, you are still actively trying to bridge the gap. But looking at that massive text block, you finally accept the pharisaical reality. There is no bridge high enough to cross their indifference. So, you place your thumb on the backspace button. You do not just delete the last word. You hold it down. You watch your raw, unfiltered soul get swallowed up by the cursor, line by line, sentence by sentence, until the text box is entirely hollow once again. You erase your anger. You erase your justifications. You erase your pain. The screen reverts to a clean, empty white slate. You lock your phone, place it face down on the nightstand, and stare at the ceiling in the dark. On their screen, the typing notification simply vanishes. It leaves behind no trace of the war that was just fought and resolved within your own mind. They think they won a minor psychological victory because you remained silent. They think your lack of a response means you backed down. This is the ultimate delusion of the modern world. We confuse compliance with peace, and we mistake silence for submission. We treat the absence of conflict as a sign that everything is completely fine. When our partners, our friends, or our family members stop complaining, we congratulate ourselves on finally managing the situation. We think, good, they finally let it go. But people do not let things go just because they stop talking about them. They simply stop trying to carry the weight with you. The moment someone goes from typing to absolute silence, they have officially stopped fighting with you and have started moving on from you. They didn't lose the argument. They simply realized that winning it would bring them absolutely nothing of value. They looked at the cost of trying to make you understand, looked at your track record of emotional negligence, and decided the math simply did not work out in your favor. Silence is not an empty space, it is a locked door. It is the final boundary drawn by someone who has realized that their words are far too valuable to be thrown into the bottomless pit of your denial. The hardest truth to accept is that the most dangerous version of a person is not the one who is screaming at you in a fit of rage. The dangerous version is the one who looks at your mistakes, has every right to scream, but chooses to say absolutely nothing instead. They have reached a level of emotional detachment where your actions no longer even warrant an explanation. When they stop typing, they are not hiding their feelings, they are reclaiming their peace. They have traded the exhausting, futile effort of trying to change you for the quiet, liberating comfort of leaving you exactly as you are. You are left waiting for a text that will never arrive, completely oblivious to the fact that the silence you are currently experiencing is actually the sound of someone closing the final chapter on your existence in their life. You think you are holding the upper hand, but you are actually just holding a dead phone in an empty room. I erased 1,000 words meant to make you understand. Because your silence taught me that you never really cared.